On today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to do a little bit of a dare to compare. We're going to compare some guitars. But before we get into that, we'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel. Click on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry. In this case, our friends at zZounds. We've done this 2 other times. We went to them and said we would like 3 SSS-style guitars, SSS-style guitars. And we picked them out and they shipped them to us.
What's the price range?
So it goes from the cheapest is $1,099.99 and the most expensive is $1,299.99. But the other one being $1,149. So all close. And the one that's the most expensive, which is the first one you get to, came with a molded case. It's got some upgraded components to it.
Yeah, good that you remembered that.
Yeah,
because it's a nice case.
It is.
So there's an individual video for all 3 of these guitars. So we're not getting it. I mean, we rarely get into the geeky stuff as it is. Right. But in those videos, we do talk about some of our favorite things about the 3 guitars. We put them through a whole bunch of pedals. We each do a jam with them, and we have some final thoughts on them individually. This video really is kind of like, man, if we had the option to keep one, which one would we keep? It's kind of the idea here. So we sit down, play all 3, play through the pickups of all 3, put them all back to back so you can hear it. Then we each do a jam where we play all 3 guitars, and then we make a decision. And as of this moment in shooting this video, I'm not sure I have made up my mind.
No, I can honestly say I haven't either.
And the 335 one was bad, but that was a whole different ball game, I think.
Right.
So anyway, it was hard to make up our mind on that one. Go check that video out. It was a Sire, it was an Epiphone and a Ibanez, and it was really, really hard. This beautiful guitar, and it is, I'll give it that, is a Sire Larry Carlton S10. Straight up Strat, switching, 3 single coils. They're Seymour Duncan pickups, and they're a little hot. So that's the first contestant. Nice appointment. Sire always does some nice appointments on stuff. That's first contestant. Second contestant in the SSS category.
Right.
Wah, wah, wah. The Charvel. We got to talk here just for a second.
And I'm going to bail you out right from the beginning. It is called the DK22 SSS. Which is why we got it.
And then it comes with a Seymour Duncan humbucker.
Hot rail in the back.
Hot rail in the back. And not only that, and we didn't even realize this until after we've always been like, man, that middle position, that middle pickup must be hot. Right? Yeah, it must be hot. Position 1, humbucker. Position 2, inside of the humbucker, middle. Position 3, outside of the humbucker, neck.
Yep.
Position 4, middle and neck. Standard Stratty kind of thing. Position 5, just the neck. I will try to mark that. We'll put them all back to back. We'll put the middle positions of those against the middle position of this.
Right.
But I'll try to mark that. Normally I have a picture of the amp there and it tells you what pickups. I'll try to give you that.
And that one was the one that's $1,099.99. Came with a cardboard box.
Yeah, some interesting appointments on that.
Yes, for sure. Very modern. And the final is the Fender Vintera II 60s Strat. It has more of a vintage pickups in there. Pretty straightforward. It's a Strat. I think when we did the individual video at the end, we're like, it's a Strat. Good night, everybody. This one is $1,149.99, and it comes with a deluxe gig bag that we may have inadvertently left in the box that it was shipped with, but it says that's what it comes with, and we will trust them for that. So
yeah, that was a demo model, so that might be why we didn't.
Right.
So let's get into the. I was thinking we were going to jam, so I was going to flip a pick to see which goes first. But we can talk about it during the first break here.
Right.
Let's get into the pickups between all 3. You want to start?
I can do mine first. I think we went, bridge to neck on every one of them. Played the exact same thing. He's going to put them each bridge back to back, etc., etc. I just played something that had some arpeggio picking and kind of a rake at the end, so you get a rough idea of what they sound like. And here are all of the pickups.
All right, so I did kind of the same thing, although a little bit more of a funky tight chord, some single note stuff there, and running through all the pickups again so you can hear that. All right, so we're back. One of the other things that we always do when we put these three guitars together to try and figure out which one we would keep out of the three is take them for a spin, take them for a jam. So one of us will play some rhythm guitar and the other person plays all three over top of it. So we have two of those jams for you. We just don't know which one to show you first. So Pat, after further discussion, we decided we will flip a pick.
We'll flip a pick, and we have one here with our logo on the one side, which we'll obviously we'll call heads because it's both of our heads. And on the back, we'll call it tails, and I'm going to be the tail, and I'm going to try to flip this, and then I'll pick it up, and trust me, trust that the result is equal. Here we go. Ooh, it's heads.
So it's mine first?
It's heads.
All right, so jumping into it, I played all three of the guitars.
Did you?
Yes, that's what I did.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea. I played them with the Direct Drive because I like to go to a place that I'm really familiar with, through the Echo Tour, through the Tyler JT22 back here. How'd you back that up?
I think I was really original. I'm looking back there going, which guitar did I play? I think I played the Silver Sky through the Fender Hot Rod, and I used the Keeley rotary pedal.
That was my, I don't remember what you used. Like
I know. I think it was the Silver Sky, and if it wasn't, you'll see what it was.
All right, here's the jam.
All right, so we're going to go into the second jam, which was Tails, which is me. And I played all three guitars, which is the most awkward switching because I wear a strap when we play. And the Charvel has the interesting jack. We had to start over at one point, but we decided to do it that way, put the guitars off to the right there. I use the Keeley 4-in-1 Blues Disorder. Again, if I'm going to use them, I love doing the hybrids. So I had it in the BB Tone and the OC Drive Echo Tour Tyler.
Backing him up to the Fender Hot Rod with Epiphone 339. Man, every time I get this guitar out, I like it. Actually, in the neck position with it split. And I know a lot of people say, well, split coils never sound good. Sounds good on this guitar. And then I also had it in the Keeley rotary and tried to speed it up and slow it down. So it's kind of cool. You get to hear all three guitars, but then you can hear a little bit of what that new Keeley rotary pedal sounds like as well. And here's Jam. So the final part of this video is us telling you which one, if we had the option to keep one, which one would we keep? And there's no like ground rules. There's no like, well, if you could only keep one of these three and you didn't have two other Strats hanging on the wall, or you didn't have this, or there's no ground rule. It's just of these three, if you were to keep one, which one would you keep? That is the ground rules. That's where we're going. Pat?
I think it's the lack of ground rules that's causing me a problem tonight.
It absolutely is.
Well, I'll recap it real quick. So
we want to do a 1, 2, 3 first?
No, we don't. Well, I don't know that we do. This is about as real as it gets.
The messed up thing is we don't tell each other before we do this. And the last 2 times on the 335 style guitars, we both picked the Sire. On the HSS,
we both literally went 1, 2, 3, and we said it live at the same time.
Both picked the Sire. So on this one, on these 3, which one would you pick? 1, 2, 3.
No idea.
Yeah. All right, you go first.
Okay, I think it was a little bit because of the lack of ground rules. Because is it the one that you liked playing the most? Is it one you thought that sounded the best? Is it the one that best represented what you thought an SSS should sound like? So it was all over the map. And then the wild card was the Charvel. And like I said, we tried to give ourselves a little bit of grace by saying, if you look at the description, it says SSS. So then we have a very modern guitar with a compound radius show up with a hot rail. And right away. And then we didn't even realize until tonight that the pickup selection was not your typical 5-way Strat, which we made some bad assumptions. Not the first time, won't be the last time. So it was just a completely different animal. Very different. Fun to play. I don't know. I'd probably say it was probably third for me, though. Like, if I'm going to rank it, it was probably third. And I think in part because it was just such an odd duck. And I don't think I had my brain wrapped around all of it. And then this was really the one we were really curious about, because we played a couple other Sires and they were great at that medium price, but there's a middle price point, I think, for some Sires. And this is the top of the heap for this. And it didn't disappoint either, but it was a little surprising when it came into, because we didn't like go over the specs soup to nuts. We're just like, we want to get this in. Then when we get in, we realize, well, I think Larry Carlton, I know he had a Valley Arts and he did some other stuff, but I think very traditional player. So to have Seymour Duncans in here that were a little hotter was a little bit of a surprise too. So it didn't quite tickle the ear for an S-type guitar, but it felt great. It sounded great. Now I kind of know what that $1,200 price point of Sire is all about, and it's still pretty good bang for buck for what you get. And then you get in the Strat, which, you know, I'll hold it. It's a great color. This, I think, is Lake Placid blue. You know, the other Strat had a great color too. So the Fender's doing the great color thing that they've done always. This one, 60s style with the profile of the neck, probably lower output pickups. Got to really narrow at the nut. Like it's a Strat, maybe a little smaller neck than the two of these. You know,
than that one, probably not.
Yeah,
this one.
Made in Mexico. Well, as you saw from other videos you've watched, there's 2 American Deluxes up here. I've got an American Deluxe. I have a Japanese. So I've played a bunch of different ones, and so we just keep coming back to this is a Strat. It's a fine Strat. Me personally, would I want to pay $1,200 for Mexican-made Strat, which is a great Strat? I don't know. There's so many other options in the pre-owned market, which maybe isn't fair, but
if you didn't have,
if I didn't have, I mean, it's for us to sit here and play and go, it's a Strat, means it's a good one. Like, it might be good, but not great.
I mean, I paid less for my Deluxe American Strat than that costs now.
Right.
Of course, this was 20 years
right.
ago.
And that's the part that might not be fair. I introduced that whole wrinkle.
Right. So, with having to, I think what you're saying, with having some other Strats that you've had for a while and like, would something that's different fit the bill? Right.
So I really say, like, again, I had a clear third because, again, I think it was just an odd duck in this scenario. So it really comes down to, like, these two. And I don't know that I could pick one. If I were to pick one now, it would probably be the Sire, because I don't have a Sire. And I do have this. I know we're saying there's no ground rules, we're breaking ground rules, whatever. I would probably lean towards the Sire. locking tuners. The pickups are a little hotter, which are a little hotter than some of my pickups. You can't go wrong with either one of these if you're looking for an S-type guitar. If you're looking at one that's kind of pure, like because it's a 60s vibe, all the appointments 60s. So that's my very rambling, unfiltered final thoughts. I mean,
see if I can do it quicker.
Yeah, it's a Strat.
It's a Strat. Let's talk about the jam. I started on the Sire. We tried to do these in the order that we did the episodes. So I started on the Sire. That first note, that first bend. I shouldn't do this with the mic on, but that first note, gorgeous on that guitar. I mean, it rang out. Picked this up, first note, rang out. Picked up the Strat, it was like died out. And I don't think it's the way I hit it. I think it's those pickups are a lot less.
Right.
Middle position on the Charvel was super fine with the direct drive. I mean,
and now you know why.
Right. And I don't remember it being that way when we did this individual episode, but man, it was super fun. And then when I kicked it back to the bridge, it wasn't as harsh as maybe those two guitars were with the single. I'm not a Strat guy for like soloing with gain on. Like, I like Strats for like real clean, kind of funky stuff like that. So for me, the Fender wins when it comes to the way I normally use a Strat.
Right.
Because it has that Strat thing.
I think we can agree on that one, right?
Yeah, it has that Strat thing, that Strat sound. It kind of wins for the way I like to use a Strat. If I wanted a guitar not for that I want to solo, like I kind of would like to take this out to somewhere where I can jam with a band a little bit more and explore that middle position and the neck and the bridge position, even the neck position a little bit more. And even the 2 and 4 were cool. So there's all of a sudden tonight, which I thought this was so far out of the running because it's just not my style. Right. All of a sudden tonight, I'm like, man, I kind of want to play that a little bit more. And then for me, the Sire, you want to hold on to this so you can put one down there. For me, the Sire, gorgeous looking. I like the appointments. I'm not typically gold hardware guy, but it looks great. And I would like that. Plays great, sounds great. Maybe a little hotter Strat. So maybe if I had 2 American Strats that I could grab, maybe that would be like a nice. I'm leaning that either the Charvel or the Sire are a nice thing I don't have. Right.
And the Charvel's not quite a super Strat, but it's more super Strat than anything else that we have.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's if you were expecting us to be like one hands down, I mean, I'm still a little confused. We've been saying this all night, too. Right. We got here tonight, like, I don't know which one I'm going to pick. We did the jams. I don't know. We did the pickups. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. Did the jams. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. And here we are at the very end of the episode, and I don't know which one I'm going to pick. And that's great because I think that what that means for you is they're all good.
Yeah.
They're all cool. They all have their thing going on. I mean, keep in mind, I set up the Barber. You did the same thing with yours.
Yeah.
Set it up on the first guitar, and the other guitars just had to like go, well.
Deal with it.
Yeah. So maybe if I had taken that first note on this one, would have sounded a little bit better if I had set it up to this guitar with a little lighter. It definitely, even looking at the waveforms, you can see waveforms for the Charvel and the Sire like here, and then the Fender comes in. So.
Right.
So, thanks for watching. Thanks for, if you click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click the like button, leave a comment, any of those things. Those interactions are what allows us to interact with cool people like zZounds. I'm pointing to Pat's shirt, not to Pat.
I paid for the shirt.
Yeah. But interact with zZounds and get cool stuff in to share with you. And so hopefully it's a win-win situation. And for that, we appreciate it. So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much of it.